down the line. But number 5.
Let's go.
Kevin Warren, who's, playing at world domination, got USC and UCLA out of this, out of the Pac-12 and on down the line. And he was very aggressive and didn't really, and he was a short timer anyway. He didn't have a long-term view of how this would end up. His goal was to put the Big Ten in the best position they could to get the best TV they could. He went to Los Angeles and plucked 2 teams out of it and then said, all right, got that done. I'm going back to the NFL.
No matter what he does with the Bears, he will, when you look up his legacy, that is going to be, unless he leads the Bears franchise to Super Bowl, but the coaches and players get the credit, that's his legacy. Mm-hmm. Forever.
For college football fans who paid attention to that side of things, I think there's a bunch of people who don't know who the heck he probably is, and there's others that maybe what he did previously, stands out to them. But for college football fans who follow realignment the last few years, he is a polarizing figure who absolutely was at the controls of the entire thing starting to go. Basically, Oklahoma and Texas were first, but we still don't know when they were even going to announce that. That just came out, and so maybe that would have been more on the same timeline, but. Yeah, he absolutely deserves some of the blame, although I don't think he probably feels very guilty about that at all, quite frankly.
No, I don't think he does. He hadn't probably thought much about it ever.
No.
Yep.
All right, number 4, the TV networks. Look, if they didn't want this to happen in some way, shape, or form, it wouldn't have. Mm-hmm. If they really thought that their best bet was to keep everything together, they could have even told Kevin Warren, look, we appreciate your global vision here, but it doesn't work for us that way. Here's the reality of the situation. That was not the case. So this is happening. And look, they should maybe be higher up on the list for why this is happening overall. But as far as the Pac-12 goes, to me, they're 4th. And we'll get to the other 3 in a second. But, none of this would be happening if they decided, no, we think USC and UCLA belong there.
They had a, what is that, a pardon. They had a pardon. It could have ended all of this.
Yeah, if they didn't want it, then it wouldn't happen because they're not buying what you're selling.
A lot of people want to make them the big bad in this whole thing, and they certainly played their role, like you said, but I don't think it was the biggest role. 4 seems about right. Let me see what these other 3 are, but they certainly had a hand in everything, and they could have kept the Power 5 alive and well, but I think just the way it's all going, that they love the idea of streamlining it and getting rid of some of the excess. And, based on everything that's been said, here's the deal, guys. This wasn't supposed to be the Pac-12. Mm-hmm. This was supposed to be the Big 12 that we're talking about. This was supposed to be the Big 12 that died. And I think ESPN's probably as shocked as anybody that that's how it turned out. I think everybody's shocked by that because for all intents and purposes, the Big 12 was supposed to die once Oklahoma and Texas left, not go and double in size and help kill the Pac along the way. There's nobody that could have foreseen that coming, but the Pac did what they did with their TV deal, and the rest is history.
Number 3, the university presidents. When you get a television offer and it says it's $30 million and you say, no, we want 50, and then they say goodbye, and you don't immediately call back and go, whoa, maybe we...
Just kidding.
Maybe we overshot.
They're asleep at the wheel. And a lot of them were gullible about what was going on this whole time.
All this stuff. And when you only listen to what you want to hear and not what you need to hear, that's where it got them in. Because they believed their own hype. They believed that they were above it all. And they did not have a grasp on the overall situation. They were lost. It was not going to happen for them. And they could have prevented it. They could have taken a more realistic view and been like, all right, look, let's take the best deal we can and figure out down the line. And then maybe let's try to start a real alliance, not the fake one. Let's go through and really do that. Let's do something that's innovative and different so that the 3 of us that are behind the 2 power conferences can make some headway. But they didn't do that because if they were the Pac-12, everything's going to be fine.
Yeah, I can't believe we talked about Kevin Warren and didn't mention the alliance and what a joke that turned out to be.
Well, that was it. You talk about a guy that was playing poker and knew exactly what was in his
Remember
hands,
how pompous people were about that too at the time?
Remember,
that wasn't the Big 12 was supposed to die. They were out of the alliance, and the SEC didn't need no stupid alliance. So there was one conference left out in the cold, and the alliance turned out to be a big pile of nothingness. It didn't amount to anything other than just a funny story for those on the way out, poking at how absurd the whole Pac situation is that they were part of the alliance at one point in time. It made no difference whatsoever. But, yeah, I don't know if it was just arrogance or what. I don't know these folks, but they were asleep at the wheel. That's fair to say, or just overvalued themselves for sure.
Number 2, Larry Scott. And so you can probably
What?
guess who number
Not
1
one?
is. No, here's the deal. And I will
okay.
give you the explanation on why number 1 is. Larry Scott put them in a position to be poached. The Pac-12 networks was bad. The moving the conference off, like San Francisco office building and all the rent they're paying, all those different things. Bad decisions. The Comcast thing, all that's bad. All of it was bad. And I'm going to maybe do these two in unison here, Garrett. All of it was bad. And he left them in a really bad spot. But number 1, George Kliavkoff knew that he had done that and had every opportunity to try to fix it and did nothing to do that. So it's George Kliavkoff, number 1, because he knew it, because he walked in, he assessed it, and went, oh, okay. And instead of telling the Pac-12 presidents or getting everybody out of their own way, they kept on the same exact Larry Scott path that they'd been on, and they let him go for a reason, and then they didn't change it. So George Kliavkoff, with the knowledge he had going in, to me is the biggest reason, because he could see what had happened and then did nothing to stop it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. We'll need an explanation on that one day, because I've seen, all of the finger pointing that's going on, and there sure is a lot of it. But, yeah, he had to have had a better grasp on the situation, but instead they just played the slow, long game and had several warnings of, like, that's probably not the smartest play, but did it anyways. And not only did it, but kept on doing it, and then kept on doing it, and then kept on doing it. And I would just love to know, after the fact, at some point in time, it's not earth-shattering news or anything like that, but just, was he lying to folks? Like, how much were they didn't know, not because but they were being told the wrong information. They were being led to believe one thing that wasn't actually true, and how much did he have a hand? You know what I mean?
Well, it's up to them, though, to...
Sure.
Yeah, they should...
But if he's presenting them a TV deal and saying, hey, guys, this is what we're hearing, blah, 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 like, why shouldn't they trust that?
But I don't even
It's
know.
the
There was in the report today or yesterday in The Athletic that there were times he was not communicating at all.
Well, and here's why I wonder...
Between Colorado and
there's cause and effect for everything. If he got that first offer and they said go back with $50 million, and then he told them we're not getting $50 million, and then they told him don't come back until it's somewhere around there, and then he never got there, then he just took them at face value and wasn't going to come back until he got to that number, which...
They trusted him.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
he
That was a
burned
mistake.
them. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Yep, there you go. He has to be right there.